What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonuff71, aka Digadulamite.
Purple bling bling, y'all.
And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 267 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. And as usual, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, I got my partners in crime. First on deck, Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Hater.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that gamer stepdaddy. What's going on, man?
Hey, not much, as usual. Just happy to be here talking about the things that we love, video games. And I can't wait to talk to you all about our main event, because we have some information. We're giving our thoughts, so stay tuned for all that goodness. But yeah, happy to be here.
Sounds good. Of course, our show is a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. How's it going?
It's going good. Just trying to enjoy this weekend. I'm trying to get stuff done, but I cannot find the time to get everything done I need to. So it's like, it is what it is. So, I did finally decide, and I did trade in both of my PlayStation 5s. So I have a second PS5 Pro in my possession. So okay. I didn't want to install a PS5 in my bathroom or my shower. So,
I can imagine.
Good.
Don't know why you didn't.
No, two is enough for me.
You could take a portal into the bathroom, I guess.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's true. That way I could play I bought a new game. Actually, it's in my PlayStation library, but it's called Bang on Balls. So I could play that on my portal in the bathroom. So.
Again, with this man.
Look it up. There's a game called Bang on Balls Chronicles, and it's a platformer. Yes, it's a platformer.
Yeah, you play as balls, basically, a bunch of jumping balls. Yeah, with different balls. So.
Okay. All right. So, as always, our first topic on our docket, it's going to be the playlist. So I think we'll kick things off with Jabroni Chief. Man, what you been doing? What you been playing? Past week or so?
As far as games is concerned, playing some Warhammer 40K Darktide a little bit. It's kind of been our multiplayer game of choice. We haven't been really playing a lot of multiplayer games as of late, but with the launch of that, it's good to get back into that particular title, and I think I've gotten a little bit more momentum on it versus playing on Xbox for some reason. So, but
for some reason, really, you gonna do that? For some reason, I could get momentum because it was on the Xbox. I have no idea why. Come on now. Call spade a spade, Joe. It's playing it on your preferred. You're playing it on your preferred system. That is why. Come on now.
Oh, okay.
Stop the cap.
Be honest.
Well, the thing about my year on Xbox, everyone got a little summary of like you're a PlayStation, you're a Nintendo, and I got my year of Xbox, which didn't come from Microsoft themselves. It came from TrueAchievements.com, which is all about the Achievos on Xbox. But I played Xbox in the months of January and September. So
that was it.
That's it. And basically, it was, our month of Xbox, basically rocked and rolled. My game of the year on Xbox was Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn, sorry. I did not play that much Darktide. Yeah, so.
That's funny.
But, Darktide's pretty cool. Good gameplay. It's a point, me and Dez were playing for a little bit. And okay, have you bought it last night? So I love the gameplay as far as the guns and whatnot. There's only particular guns I enjoy using. I tend to like machine guns for some reason. So like
You'll
there's
get more.
Charge gun of some sort, in different types, but
The las rifles.
the las rifles are kind of they kind of get a little bit getting used to on there, but like making some runs. I think Darktide will get some legs for me as far as a multiplayer game. So I've been enjoying it. It looks great on the Pro. Even though I was watching Digital Foundry last week and they said that there's some issues in the shadows and some of the PSSR implementation in the game on there. There might be some shimmering of some sort, which is happening on a few games, including like Avatar and I think what was another game that was having that shimmering issue. There was another game.
Silent Hill 2.
Yeah. So, but unless I don't got the eyes of John Linneman or like the other Digital Foundry crew, and it's like I'm not gonna like Richard Bedletter look at this thing with a critical eye, and as long as it's running and it's looking good, that's all I really care about. But join that, play more EDF World Brothers 2, World Brothers 1, excuse me, as it's meant to say as well, but no, I do not own EDF World Brothers 2, but that is something that I would love for Santa to bring down and bring down the chimney, and take care of that. But I'll probably have to buy it myself because, hey, it is what it is. So, but I've been playing that still enjoying that quite a bit. I love going back between my different teams and playing on both easy, normal, and hard. I think hard is like that sweet spot. I think hard playing normal EDF kind of is very taxing at first, especially if you're not properly leveled up. I think the way to go about EDF usually is to gather your power ups enough so you can ramp up and start playing hard and then going beyond the play like Nightmare and Inferno, because you open those up once you beat the campaign. And I think it's the same thing with EDF World Brothers as well. So, but still enjoying that quite a bit. Did happen to play more Secret of Mana on there. I'm getting ever so closer to the end of the game, so I will want to make that a goal. After I finish Secret of Mana, I want to finish Turok. Turok's on the back burner, Turok's burning up on there. He's percolating on the low heat over there. So I want to make sure I don't get cold on Mr. Turok.
Yeah, I'm sure it looks great. Super the greatest on that Pro. I'm sure
you know it, man.
Get you ready for Turok 2 or the new Turok. I don't know though. Your eyes might not be able to handle the new Turok. You're so used to the.
Well, I got to complete the trilogy before wait for the new Turok Origins to come out, which we'll talk about in news later. But
each one is going to be a step
up. I do own Turok 2 and Turok 3 on PlayStation, so
there you go.
I'm gonna play that trilogy. It's gonna be better than any trilogy you'd ever imagine. Better than Halo trilogy. Better than Gears of War. You know it, Turok.
Yeah, it's gonna look like
Turok fire. Come on, blow them smoke signals.
Wow.
You almost had me convinced you were.
I'm gonna be the true Apache chief.
Enough, Chuck.
Yep.
Yeah,
scary.
But as far as anything else I've been up to, movies, of course.
Was that character borderline racist or was?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Most definitely.
I'm just glad I wasn't the only one who thought that.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun. Come on.
Vulcan.
I'm just having fun.
El Diablo. The sumo wrestler guy, all of them.
EDF World Brothers is teaching me all about the different nationalities of this world. I'm wondering if Indian brother, and not like Yoga brother, but actual Indian brothers and World Heroes, and maybe World Heroes too. We'll have to see.
Probably has an eagle or something.
Yeah, you never know. Eagle, yeah, Eagle special, yeah. I learned it from watching like Looney Tunes too, so.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But as far as movies or anything else I've been up to, me and a friend, like we're kind of catching up on some Godzilla. So I watched Godzilla 2014 with, the one with Bryan Cranston in there.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, the first one. So pretty much it's the first Godzilla in the Legendary Pictures trilogy so far on there. And so I'm going to do or two or watch some Gorilla versus Kong and then see if I could, watch the sequel as well. So also went with Goonie to watch. I never seen this movie before, but this is Miyazaki's My Neighbor Totoro. I saw that for the first time. So
good movie. Good to see the cat bus.
Cat bus. You got it. Very adorable movie. We watched it, the sub versus the dub. So which, I never watched the movie to begin with, but I kind of missed it when it first came out. And I thought it was a nice and adorable movie. It's like watching a Studio Ghibli movie without any sort of super crazy conflict or anything like the other Studio Ghibli movies. It's a very, like, compared to Nazca or like Howl's Moving Castle or anything that, it's a lot more whimsical and lighthearted for sure. Mm-hmm. So not like it's, super drama for your mama with Studio Ghibli movies or anything like that, but still.
Well, some of them are, though.
Yeah, some of them are. Mononoke, yeah, all that. Yeah. So, but enjoyed that quite a bit. And then, God, what else I say? I watched Red One, but let's not talk about that. So, Santa Claus. All in the Christmas spirit. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It's better than Borderlands, so
Red Rock.
Yeah.
Rock
One. It was quite an amusing Christmas flick. So.
I think that's streaming right now on.
Yeah, it's streaming.
We watched it streaming. Prime. Yeah, so it's on Prime. So.
Prime. Okay.
I definitely say it's worth a watch. It is worth a watch. So.
Still pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, I could have went to go see it in the theater, but I'm just trying to save some time. With the Regal Unlimited, the only thing it cost me is 50 cents and some time, and so
there you go.
Not too bad, but that's pretty much all my gaming. And getting this PS5 situation. So I'm gonna get that PS5 Pro set up with my 48-inch OLED. Oh, I forgot. Since I didn't write my playlist down because I'm a dodo, I have also played quite a bit between after the Game Awards hype. Played some Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. So pretty much signed on I think at 12:30 at night. Just I want to check out the new 2.0 patch and want to playing for like about a couple hours, going into ranked immediately, even though I hadn't played. I think at my last time I noticed my last match was maybe about 14-15 months ago. So it's been that long since I played the game or fired it up, and went online and just played a bunch of scrubs and got some wins under my belt. And, just kind of getting the flow back on there. I also checked out the Virtua Fighter 5 Revo beta on Steam. Played that a little bit. Basically, it's VF5 Final Showdown just for PC, and of course I had to kind of tweak the settings a little bit because immediately wanted to put me at a 4K resolution, and it was running maybe about 45 frames a second, give or take, and that's not good.
Nope.
So dial that down to 1440p. It was running at a good lock 60. I wish I could get a locked 120, but
just feeling, y'all.
You know it. I want that feeling. So once I might play that as well, because there might be a bigger audience with the relaunch of that game versus just playing the VF5 Final Showdown on PlayStation 4 necessarily. So we'll see. Maybe I'll dabble in both. It's pretty reasonable. I think the game's $20 on Steam. So right now, if you get the pre-order, it's $15.99. So I definitely would recommend it if you want to dive into the world of Virtua Fighter on there. So, and we'll talk about more Virtua Fighter news in the Jabroni gaming news section of the show. So you think you're going to dive back in the Virtua Fighter, Kev? I know you probably just said you got enough room. You probably want to go back to Tekken 8 before you go back to anything else, right?
Well, I never dived into Virtua Fighter to begin with. I've played it,
I
but
know you've bought it before, so.
Oh, did I?
I think so, yeah. Or you might have played a
I don't
demo at
think
least.
so. I think it was a demo.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think I ever bought it. No, I
Must
will
have been a
be.
preview or something like one of those PlayStation Plus premium.
Maybe, because no, Virtua Fighter is I respect what the developers have put out with regard to that. But it is way too technical for me. I can't. I don't have a degree in law or pan. I can't do. It's like, dude, those moves. There's just way too many moves for those characters, and I'm not saying that as a detriment. I think that's great for those people that thrive on that type of complexity in a fighting game. That ain't me. That's all. I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Fatal Fury. I'm waiting for Goral. That's what I'm waiting for. So
yeah,
that's what's going to bring me back to the fighting game arena. Is that game right there?
It's
yeah.
gonna
See,
be good.
for me, Virtua Fighter, since I played so many hours of it previously, it flows like water. It's just like I feel the zen. My main is Lion, and pretty much I think the thousands of hours of me playing my old friend Terry, our friend Terry, at Virtua Fighter 4 Revolution on PlayStation 2, that pretty much I could go back to. The muscle memory is still there. So, and I know it. And definitely, when I try to play another character, I could see where the barrier of entry is. Because of the fact that if you're not used to it, there's a ton of moves, and a lot of it. It's like I don't even think. I'm just like reacting and playing. So, I'll sometimes pull some combos out of my back pocket where it's like, oh. I was actually playing another Lion player, and he was breaking out some moves on me, and it's like, oh, damn. It gave me kind of a different viewpoint of seeing someone else play the same character that I main and take a look as far as how he decides or he or she decides to play, where it was like kind of eye-opening where maybe there's some other stuff I need to learn too.
I told you to sit down, scrub.
Something like that, yeah. They got five like matches. I think I won like 2 out of 5, and he won 3. So, or like he got to analyze what I was doing and then kind of counteracted it. I didn't come up with any sort of, reaction. And then I decided to go to bed because it was 2:30 in the morning. But life of a gamer. So
yeah.
Des, what you been playing? What you been doing?
The only thing I've been playing is Darktide. Really, just really been playing Darktide. I've really been into it. Really been into the world. I like Warhammer. My 2 characters that I'm playing are a Psyker and a Zealot. I like them because of their gameplay. The Psyker is more of a wizard type character, and the having to manage your apparel so you don't explode is really, really interesting. And so you're playing like a little bit of a mini game, but if you're able to get it going, they're pretty powerful. They're pretty powerful. And finally, just playing the game, getting better weapons, getting better moves. I think it's really kind of interesting because the game itself, like, there's no armor in the game. It's all based on. It's like all the armor you get is cosmetic. Yeah, so it's based on just the move sets that you have and your talents that you get. So I think that's very interesting that they took that part is not in it, and it still works. So that's the game that I've been playing, and it's been taking the bulk of my time. Also, I think more so I like playing with other people, and it's just been a lot of fun. Although I think Joe doesn't like it though, playing with me though, because I be trying to like keep him from dying because he's all like running off on his own thing, talking about like I'm gonna go loot, I'm gonna go do this, and I'm like, Joe, we really should stay together. no, I'm gonna go over here. And I'm like, Joe, if we
You're not the boss of me, sir.
I'm like, Joe, if we stay together, like we have like the game, we give each other buffs if we team buffs if we stay together. I don't care. Oh, what's that shiny? And then he runs off, and I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, he's getting much better. That's the cool thing about it is you get to a certain point, you start getting better weapons and better skills, then you can take care of yourself. So that's good. Don't have to take care of him that often. Kind of babysit him, make sure he's okay. But yeah.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, it's pretty good. So.
Give me a reason not to play Dark Tide.
You love it.
Or maybe I could play with other people. Yeah,
you could. Right. You could. And watch them just like leave your ass. Take it too long. So either way, I'm enjoying it. We play the game. If y'all want to play it, definitely come in and play with us. I think you guys would like it. It's a very fun game, and definitely now that it's on my preferred console, I will be playing it a lot more. So it's just a lot of fun, and it's a really fun multiplayer game. So, but that's all I've been playing. So Kev, what have you been playing, buddy?
So like you guys, I played a little bit of Dark Tide. I did not do any of the multiplayer because I had to get through the prologue. I completed the prologue, so I guess the next time I catch you guys playing, I'll be able to join you there. Helldivers 2 launched the, what they call it, the Illuminate new enemy, and I have fought against the Illuminate, and they make the bots look like a kindergarten class because basically...
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Basically, they're space zombies. That's what you can call them. So they've gone to these planets and they've killed everybody and turned them into zombies. And because they're zombies, wherever the Illuminates, if you want to look at it like whatever space they illuminate, they can sprout up dead folk and to go and chase you around. It's almost like gosh, what was that zombie game for PlayStation with Dylan, the character Dylan? Gosh, there's rumor of a remake in the works.
Blue Stinger? No,
it's for PlayStation.
You're talking about Days Gone
exclusive. Days Gone. Yeah,
Days Gone.
It's almost like Days Gone. I mean, you'll get like massive groups of zombies chasing you, and they're not the slow shuffling kind. These people, they step in.
They're high stepping on you.
They step in.
Not half stepping either.
No half stepping. No. And so, and because I play solo, I just got washed. It wasn't even it really wasn't even a fight. I just kind of show up, and then I'm all of a sudden once the Illuminate because there's a couple of different things. I don't know what they're called. There's one thing like this walker that looks like if you ever saw the remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still, I think it was Tom Cruise.
Yeah, those three-legged things.
Yeah, there's one of these giant three-legged things show up, and he's got the death scalpel laser of death, and he hits you with that, and that's all she wrote. You're in several pieces on the ground. Jeez. And there's this other thing that's shines a light, and wherever it shines a light, that's where the Illuminate's victims can sprout up and start chasing you. It's wild. It's wild, but it comes with it's a paid for thing, but you get I think fire is going to be the most effective against them, because I noticed in the what do they call that? The stratagem section of your ship, there is a emplacement that's basically a big ass flamethrower. That's part of the Illuminate campaign. So when you unlock that, you set that thing up, and it just roasts everybody to death. I'm thinking that flame might be an effective weapon against them. I do have the flamethrower as a support weapon, but I might be trying flame the next time I play that. But really, the most of my game time has been working with. I've been wanting to get a more user-friendly way to play retro games, particularly MAME, kind of revisiting the magic of the arcades from back when I was a kid. So during Black Friday, I got my little bit coins together, found some really good deals on Amazon, and I put together a mini PC for the specific purpose of being my retro box, because I had been debating about buying one of the like a what they call that, Pandora. Mm-hmm. And there have been a couple of Pandoras that I've seen, with varying prices. The one that was universally applauded was a particular one. Didn't have really everything that I particularly was looking for, but it had like arcade parts and Sanwa buttons or Sumitsu buttons, but it was ridiculously expensive. And it's like, yeah, I was hemming and hawing about that. But so I decided the cheaper way, far more cheaper way, would be to build your own. So I decided to go with the Batocera. And I have to say that Batocera in and of itself is a fantastic piece of software. It is basically the hub for all the various emulation programs that are available. And once you get everything set up, it's literally just a one-stop thing. The way I tried to follow the instructions to, that's basically what I did. Is I picked up I got a second drive for the Mini, another M.2, and dedicated that to just being the space where Batocera lived. It is a Linux-based program, so it can work in tandem with your Windows boot drive, but I had seen a lot of people talking about conflict with that. They said it's possible to set it up as dual boot, but it creates a lot of problems. So I decided to just let it live in its own drive. So I've been working on that for 2 weeks. And I have to say, I'm gonna say this with my whole chest, man. F this. I mean, for real. It is, and I don't think it has anything to do with Batocera itself. I think the work that these people put in to put this thing together, the fact that it runs so many different systems, from old consoles to like it can emulate old VCS, it can emulate in television, basically all the way up to like Xbox 360 and PS3. It can even emulate Switch. I'm not saying it's not a feat, but the one thing that I do feel that I was a little bit misled on by the multiple YouTube channels that I watched trying to get this thing set up was its ease of implementation. Oh man, it's just easy. Oh, once you just download it, is it? And now that, because if we'd have done this episode 2 weeks ago, I'd be a cursing furious. My blood pressure would be going up. I mean it wouldn't have been good. I wouldn't have been able to put my frustration level was such that I would not be able to put two cohesive sentences together. And I don't know what it is with technology, with computers, with tech in general. You know, normally when you feel that you've accomplished something difficult, you say, hey, man, I can pat myself on the back because, you know, I did this, I accomplished this difficult goal. When I got Bhattacharya finally up and running after about a week and a half, I felt nothing. I felt drained. I felt like I'd been doing 12 rounds with Mike Tyson in his prime, and mentally, and just like asking myself why. It's like I could have been playing my backlog. I could have been doing a whole bunch of other stuff, but instead I feel that I am bashing my head against this brick wall of bullshit called implementing this freeware this freeware program and trying to make it work. And I don't put the fault of this with Bhattacharya itself. I put the fault of it with the people that claim to be these experts in all this stuff. And they, oh yeah, well, I'll explain it to you. It's real easy. All you have to do is do this, and this. And dude, I had to watch 6 different videos just to get this shit up and running. I kid you not. And each one of these videos was maybe about an hour, any range from an hour to 2.5 hours in length. And the problem is that because like the Bhattacharya version that I'm using is version 40. So I started out watching one video and I'm like, okay, well, I'm following the instructions. Why isn't this shit working? Well, that was for Bhattacharya version 36, which was, you know, some 2-3 years ago. I'm working with Bhattacharya version 40. So it's like, okay, so now I got to do a search for Bhattacharya version 40. And I got to watch those a couple of videos with that. And well, I'm not putting it on a Retro Pi. I'm putting this on a PC. So I've got to sort all that stuff out. And once I finally got the group of videos that were focused on a Windows installation, I still had to watch like 2 or 3 different videos because literally just during the process of downloading, not just but uploading this and flashing it onto, because what you have to do is you have to flash it onto your drive. So you have to use, there's a whole bunch of different free programs that you can use. I use the one that most of the videos seem to recommend. I flashed it onto the drive. Then I had to go into the computer's BIOS and change the boot process. So, you know, one video says, oh yeah, all you have to do is you have to go over to the boot section in your BIOS and change the order and bing, bang, boom, you got it. Okay, I spent maybe between 2 to 3 days just trying to figure out why I couldn't change the boot order in my BIOS. So I'm having to look up it because I'm using a B-Link mini PC. I said, well, is there something particular about the chipset of this thing that I have to change? Well, no, there wasn't. I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to figure this crap out. Every resource is telling me the exact same thing, both video and on like Reddit posts and wherever the hell else I had to go to try to figure this stuff out. Finally, I'm watching like one video, And this guy is talking about, well, you got to go, once you get to the boot drive, you got to go all the way down to the bottom and you got to change. There's like an NVMe selector, which I had seen, but none of the other videos and none of the other posts that I had seen regarding problem solving, just setting this stuff up, ever addressed, except this one dude in this one video. And I said, well, let me go and check that, see if I can find that. So I go back into the BIOS again, made that change, and whoop, there it goes. I got Batocera up and running. Okay, hip hip hooray. Again, I felt exhausted. I felt tired. I felt like I'd been beat up. So now I go through the process of trying to get ROMs for this. Yeah, that is a whole journey in and of itself. Now they tell you to go to archive.org.
Yeah, I think I've been there before too.
Yeah, and archive.org is great when it's working, because I can't tell you how many times I would be searching for a ROM set, or just the ROM of a particular game, or the ROM, like I tried to find the ROMs for the Capcom CPS 1, 2, and 3, what they call it, the Neo Burn or Ultra Burn, whatever they call that for the Capcom games. Every single link that I clicked on, we're sorry, we'd love to be able to get you to this information, but we're busy right now. And they show this little GIF of, some dude sweeping the floor, or some servers smoking, or whatever little GIF they show. And I get it. I understand that it's something like that is in high demand, and they run off donations, and I get all that, but I don't have, it's like I ain't got that time. That I don't got that kind of time. I could be doing many other things than just sitting in front of my laptop, just trying to find links to ROM sets that I can download. Okay, I finally got a ROM set to download. Now, after waiting for who knows how long, because some of these ROM sets were big, and I am downloading onto a USB drive. Hey, they're great. So I go into the README text and I look at the README. Okay, is it compatible with Batocera 440? Yeah, okay. Are these what they call split, or are they unsplit? Are they merged, or are they unmerged? And there's a whole, dude, I went down a rabbit trail just trying to figure all that stuff out. And all the resources that I came across said, well, you really want to go with the unmerged, non-split ROM sets, because if you go the other routes that work with other different emulators, that work with other different systems, it's going to cause problems, and yada, 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 yada. So I'm going through all this. I'm doing the READMEs. I'm reading all this stuff, and I implement it. I load it into the folders where it's supposed to go according to everything that I had been able to look up. Restarted Batocera, and out of maybe 100 ROMs that I put in there, 3 of them work. Yeah, 3 of them work. So again, no, I'm not. I can't do this. This type of thing is great. Like if you're like someone like Jabroni's friend Nick, who like restores arcade machines and puts retro stuff together. Like this is great for people like that, who can probably go into the files and make the necessary adjustments and do all that stuff to that's great. But if you're just somebody who is just, okay, let me go someplace and download some stuff and put it into the folders and boot it up and start it up, no, this ain't it. I was just, I mean, the level of frustration was just absolutely ridiculous. So I was like, you know what, man, F this. I'm sending this stuff back. Well, instead of doing that, and another thing, like everyone was saying, man, Batocera is great for open bore. It runs open bore like a dream. Oh yeah, you just throw it in. Same thing. All my open bore games that I've been trying to get to run on my Steam Deck, again with no success. I brought it over, and like out of the 5 that I have, one of them worked, which was Double Dragon Alternate, but it had a game-breaking bug or glitch because every time you climbed a ladder or climbed a fence, the character would like teleport and then fall to his death. Teleport and fall to his death. So there are some parts, if you play the original Double Dragon in the arcade, you got to climb some stuff. You got to, climb some ladders, climb some fences in order to get through the level. Well, when I got to the first of those, he would climb up and then just fall to his death for no reason. So thus making the game unplayable. Final Fight LNS, which is like one of the most stable open board games you can get, did not boot up at all. Like it was just like, nah, I can't help you, bruh. I mean, I didn't even get. I got a title screen out of Final Fight LNS, but then it would just crash. No error message, no reason, no nothing. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. So I reformatted the drive that I put Batocera on. And then I went on another little rabbit trail, which is probably what I should have done to begin with. I started researching already like pre-made ROM drives. And I found one that I think is going to work. I watched every video that I could think of. It dual boots with Windows. And then I went on ahead and I put my open board games like right on Windows, and they work fine. So because I can play all my open board games, I'm going to keep the mini. And I've ordered this particular drive. It's called the Kittihank 12 terabyte. It was on an unbelievable sale on AliExpress. So that's where I got it, and it just recently had a new version come out, and that one addressed all of the issues that the prior version had. Amazon has the prior version, so if you look for the Tillihank, I think it's Tilihank 12 terabyte. Amazon has the prior version, which from what I understand is still good, but it does have some issues. The latest version is on AliExpress, and the YouTube video that I watched had a direct link to it, and so that's where I got it. Because I had never purchased anything from AliExpress before, I got a whole bunch of coupons for being a first-time buyer after creating my account, and I was able to get this for pretty much a song and a dance. Normally, it's like $180.
That's good.
And I got it for like $60 after everything was all said and done. So it's going to be coming sometime next week. You just plug it into a USB port of your PC. Open up an executable, and every time you boot up, it creates a little option on your desktop. You just click that and starts everything up. Comes with like 110,000, 115,000 old school arcade games, everything already set up for you, multiple emulators, multiple all that stuff. Now, are there duplicates? Yeah, there's a bunch of duplicates. Like there's probably just about every review I saw of the drive said that there's probably out of the 110,000 games that are on there, there's probably maybe like a third of them are duplicates, but even that is really good. Plus, you can go ahead and delete the stuff that you don't want. Like I'm not going to emulate Switch because that's straight up piracy. It's got like some PC games like Cuphead. It's got some like really recent stuff, and I'm not going to mess with any of that stuff either. So I'll probably just delete that out of the folders. But like MAME, MAME works perfect. I've got my open bore stuff on my Windows, so I can play all that. So yeah, definitely. If you are someone who gets frustrated with tech, don't do this on your own. Just get a pre-made one. Just spend the extra money and have have somebody do that work because or if you've got a Nick in your life who can do that stuff for free for you and knows how to do it, do that, because doing this stuff on your own, it's a pain in the ass, like straight up. I have never been so frustrated with trying to figure something out with regards to tech than I was with this Batocera stuff. And again, I'm not blaming Batocera for it, because once this thing is working properly, it's great. It's probably one of the better emulating systems out there, but getting it to work
wasn't working.
No. So aside from those two games and raising my blood pressure to ridiculous levels, that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been up to this past couple of weeks. So now that I've gotten that off my chest and my blood pressure has fallen a couple more points, we can move on to our next topic on the docket, and that's going to be our main event. So, Des, I'm passing the mic to you, dude.
Alrighty. So, main event, you might have known, maybe. I mean, if you're following us, you probably know stuff about video games. Well, this past weekend, or this past Thursday, I guess, there was I use this word sparingly. There was an award show, the Video Game Awards, or which I like to call the Video Game Commercial Show. And that was on Thursday. So we're going to have a conversation about our thoughts about that. If you want to join the conversation, please join our Discord, or if you're listening on YouTube, please write a comment. Let us know your thoughts. But we're just going to chop it up. And then at the end, I'm going to give you the question for the week. So I'm going to turn it over to Kev. And I'm going to say, Kev, what were your thoughts? Or what do you think about the 2024 Video Game Awards show? And, we can popcorn it around. You can start it off, then Joe can take it, and I can take it. So just having a pretty, good discussion about it, because I know there was a bunch of stuff that, number one, they showed a bunch of commercials and a bunch of new games. And we're going to talk about that a little bit during the Jabroni gaming news. So I wanted to talk about the event in itself about it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get that over to Kev. Kev, what were your thoughts overall about the show?
Overall, I thought the show was pretty good. It actually surprised me. I really didn't. Were there some slow points? Yeah. Were there some points that there were some slower points, but there really wasn't anything that made me ask, like, okay, why is this going on? Like, usually when it comes to the Video Game Awards, just about every other year prior, I like watching it 2 hours after it starts. That way I can fast forward through all the crap I don't care about.
Yeah.
But I really didn't feel that I would have had to do that a whole lot, Even having Snoop Dogg up there performing, there was a reason why he's there. He's starting a gaming development studio with his son. So he's not just there to be there. It's game related. So I think in and of itself, I think the show was good. To be honest, I'm only there to see the new game announcements. That's literally the only reason I tune in. But outside of that, the show itself, how it was structured, I really don't have any. Didn't have too many complaints about the show itself this year.
Cool. Joe, how about you?
The Game Awards in of itself by itself, it's just another Keighley production. It's just like watching, Gamescom live and his Summer Games Fest material. Even though they're handing out awards, it's like, the whole nonchalant way these awards were given. You're better off, especially if you want a legit awards show. I would consider this being legit, but there's other means within the actual development community, like with the DICE Awards specifically on there. There's other award shows too, like in the UK and also in Japan on there that usually occur as well. That I think it's more meant for Keighley's financial endeavors versus anything else, and that's fine by me because I'm not there really to watch a lot of the awards being given, especially with we talked about this before, esports gamer of the year and the esports moment of the year and so on and so forth. I could care less. We talked about in years past too, where some categories were really not really representative of the particular genres if need be, but overall, I mean, as a show with a bunch of reveals and trailers, it's probably the closest thing to a E3 showcase that we're going to get nowadays, where it's actually live on stage versus pre-recorded shows and that kind of thing. Just for shits and giggles over the weekend, I brought up on YouTube the 2015 PlayStation E3 press conference, the big one where they were showing Final Fantasy, Horizon for the first time, so on and so forth. And, when pulled off right, when we're doing a bunch of reveals, especially for a company and or for an industry, the feeling that you get from seeing a bunch of new games are being revealed via marketing, all that business can be like something to get excited for, especially if it's done well. It's where it's not seeming like it's just one big long 3-hour commercial if need be. So there's like a needle to be threaded as far as, because I don't think any other Hollywood doesn't get together to put a bunch of movie trailers up for upcoming movies, even though they probably could get away with that.
They sure could.
It kind of, in a way, that this kind of distills. I remember before when I was a kid, and this is going to be kind of a deep cut. I remember that broadcast networks used to kick off the Saturday morning cartoon season in September with a pre-launch show in prime time, usually on a Friday before.
Oh, I remember
on there, and they were just hyping up all the new series that they had the next day, and you'd be all excited. Obviously with the Game Awards, you're not waiting until the next day. You're waiting a couple of years sometimes to start certain games, but it's that kind of feelings. And if it's done right and not done, hey, guess what? Here's another free-to-play mobile game. Oh boy, I can't wait. Kind of thing. But when the stars align and when Jeff Keighley coordinates, it seems like for this particular show, he had a lot of Japanese developers sign on for a lot of what they would consider significant reveals on there. So, and I know Jeff has always been he loves his Kojima-san, so, and he on the show he's like, oh, I went to Kyoto to Capcom, or like, Osaka to Capcom and went off and saw this in July and all this other stuff. So, he's working it. And at the same time, he's, we're watching these Samsung commercials and Xbox commercials in between, and so on and so forth. So,
yeah, I mean, he's got cred. It's a thing for him to put out his cred there. So I get it. I get it.
I think the Muppet incursion this year wasn't too bad either. I mean, I think the two old guys, I forgot their names.
Statler and Wardorf.
Yeah, that
they were great.
And they were self-referential and busting Keeley's chops and busting the Game Awards chops. And I love the fact that this year they decided not to do the wrap it up bullshit, because they brought, the main guy from Larian out to do the presentation for the Game of the Year awards. And he got to say what he wanted to say probably last year, because he was rushed off the stage. He wasn't able to say everything he wanted to say. So, there are some significant parts of the show. Even the new award that he brought out with that one guy that was helping game developers that got fired into a new position, that kind of thing. I've kind of got the feels a little bit with that guy, and I don't know that guy's name, but they gave him a particular award just for helping the gaming community. And I think Jeff kind of nailed it on the, where I think in years past he was asked, or people felt that he should have commented on the fact that, a bunch of people getting fired,
What's he going to say, though?
I know. This year he kind of just went and said his piece and brought up, the guy that's been helping a lot of laid off game developers find other work, so on and so forth. So, and, when he was on stage and when he was accepting his award, I don't know if he saw this, Des, but, he was thanking, grandparents, and he teared up when he talked about his mom and dad on there, and it kind of got me in the feels too, as far as him being grateful for his parents and that kind of thing. So,
okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, for me, I expected it. It's, if you've watched any other award show, then you know what it is. It's just this one is really specifically because people are looking to see what new games are coming out and what's going on like that, and I know there was a lot of drama about Elden Ring being in because it was a DLC. People were considering it. No, it's a new game, but it's a new portion of the game. And I was watching someone on YouTube or Reddit. I think I was watching someone, and they had said maybe they should have a new category to talk about. Have rematch, because remasters are coming out so much nowadays. Having an actual category for remasters or reissues or whatever, and have them battle it out, and then having a second one that's just DLC, so that all the DLC can battle it out. And the reasoning for this, which I thought was actually pretty sound, was that way it gives chance to shine lights on more diverse types of games that could possibly be in there that are not fighting with the DLC title, or not fighting with the remaster title, or not fighting with another type of title. That way everyone has their own time to shine. And I thought that would be a really good thing to do, because even if they don't get someone coming out and introducing them, because only some of the games had actual people presenters. Everyone else was just kind of like ran through by Keeley before he got to another commercial. So I don't know. It seems like the structure of it could be, in my opinion, reworked to showcase a lot more different and more interesting types of games. Like, I was very surprised that Baltero Balatro, thank you, was even in the talks about that. But for me, it was kind of felt like, okay, well, that's the one indie game they're gonna showcase, and it always seems like there's always this one indie game that they showcase, and that's it. And it's like, almost like they're kind of throwing them a bone. So I don't know. And then you got to think about, like, if this is Keeley's, like, this is his thing, it's his, what's the word? I don't want to say grandstanding, but it's his baby. It's his way to say, like, hey, I'm the guy that does the Game Awards, and And so, yeah, it's kind of grandstanding when he says, like, hey, I went to Osaka and I got to play the game early and I got to play this game, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's, good for you. But I don't know. It's just, I try very hard not to like completely try to roast this guy, but at the same time,
I think he stole your lunch money at some point when you were a child. So
it's not.
No, it's not even that. You have valid criticisms. I mean, I don't like some of the, like, sometimes he looks like he has just this big gigantic joystick up his ass, basically. Sometimes when they queue up to him and he has this frumpy ass look, and then he turns and he
turns it on.
Turns on that schmooze, that smile.
And that's the thing. It doesn't feel authentic, and I think that's the problem with it. Sometimes he doesn't feel authentic in his presentation and his stuff. I mean,
it's an award show. Are having come from or seen the Oscars, the Emmys, are we really hung up on authenticity when it comes to an award show?
Yeah.
Because I can't even think of, well, when I was kind of sort of into movies and maybe kind of sort of cared about that type of stuff, I never watched those shows looking for authenticity from anybody up there. It's like they're actors. It's their job is to play a role. And I think Jeff is just doing that. He's up there playing a role. It's not like we're asking him to hang out with us at Thanksgiving or anything. He's up there giving some folks some trophies and thanking them for the games that they've made. Primarily, he's there for his own financial gain. And I personally I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's
he can play that role better, in my opinion, because he is lacking.
Oh, this is the Dorito Pope himself. I mean, you've seen him.
Yeah, and we've all called him the Dorito Pope. And I mean, it's funny. It's fun to bust his chops a little bit, but it's like, I don't know what we do. Do we want him to go to the Bob Barker School of Show Hosting?
Yes. Do something. Get a coach, buddy. Get a coach. Have someone talk to you about how to hold your face. Talk to someone about how you can stand there and not have the mic pressed up against your chest, like you're trying to put it. It's literally like he's trying to put the mic into his chest. I'm like, sir, calm down. Or maybe, you know what? And again, he might have incredible stage fright or something, and that's just his way of coping. I have no idea what this guy's going on, but every time I see him, I'm just like, man, I don't know what it is. It's just every time I see him, he
needs to sniff up that Dorito dust and calm down,
something. I don't know. It's just, and it's just made so much fun. And when like the Muppets were like roasting him, it made it even more funny. And so which makes me think, completely honestly, it makes me think he understands that he's kind of whack and kind of comes off kind of weird. And I think he does, and I think sometimes he kind of plays more into it, and that's why he allows the Muppets to kind of like roast him like that, because it's his thing, and so he has to get all that stuff needs to get okayed through the scripts and everything, and he was cool with that. So I think part of it is kind of in on the joke, and at the same time, I really don't think he cares, because he's getting the money, like he's got these people in, like they're flying people in from like from Japan and all these other places, and people are showing up to do this, and he has sponsor money like Samsung and all these other people. So I really believe that and I think that's one of the reasons why it kind of makes me a little like, it's because in the grand scheme of things, he's not hiding that he doesn't give a shit, and I think that's the thing that kind of like makes me laugh, is because he doesn't even like pretend or anything, and that's what I mean. Like he doesn't. everything he says just rings hollow, and I don't know if
so
that's
you don't even think he cares about games, or when you say he doesn't care, I'm trying to, like, can you
I don't think he cares about games anymore. I think once he took over and he became a quote unquote, I don't want to say mogul, but yeah, he doesn't. I honestly believe he doesn't. I think he goes to these places to check it out, and he glad hands, and he smiles, and he shakes Kojima's hand, and you know, he thinks that he and Kojima are super cool, and Kojima's probably like, I don't care, you know, whatever. I just don't think Kojima gives a shit either way, you know. So I just don't buy it. Whenever I watch him, I just do not buy it, you know, what he's selling. And especially if you notice when how he runs through giving the awards out, and then he says, okay, now we're gonna show this next video. Here you go. So again, you know, this is his job, and his job is to, you know, sell this award show and sell it to his the people that give him money to show their ads in front of it, you know, and as long as people keep tuning in and the companies say, like, we're willing to give them like $100,000, this how much money for them to get there to show up, then yeah, he's gonna do it. But I don't know. I even though he's like the face of it, he doesn't need to be the face of it. Like, I really think that he should get someone else to do it. I mean, 100%. And we all know, and the weird thing about it is, like, we all know how crazy. So he's like the anti-Phil, you know, because like Phil is like, you know, Phil is out there like, hey everybody, how you doing? You know, Phil's like out there, he's a salesman, like he's a snake oil salesman. He's out there like selling that, towing that line, selling that Xbox, you know, whatever.
Game Pass vapor.
Yup. He's just like, yeah, you know, he's riding the rails, selling that shit, you know. And I'm like, all right.
Okay, and so let me ask this question. So would you rather have someone shilling with a smile that you can get behind, or you'd rather have somebody still doing the same shilling, just have like he's shilling, but you just don't like his face? I mean, to me, again, I'm just trying to understand the perspective, because if the video game awards did not have new game announcements, I would not tune in at all.
Oh, of course, no one would. I mean, come on. I mean,
I would not tune in at all. I could care less about any of that stuff, because I don't have a personal attachment to these people making these games. Do I enjoy the games? Yes, I do. I love playing some of them, but I don't have an emotional or personal attachment to any of these developers. So when I watch this, it's like, I don't care that Keely's shilling. I don't care that he's, you know, maybe he's not Bob Barker. I'm just here for the new game announcements. And when I see that, I can, yeah, I'm hyped for that. Oh yeah, I'm not hyped for that. Everything else is just, it is what it is. I'm just trying to understand the perspective, you know, from that.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it like this. Like, if you go to a sex worker, you want them to look good, right? Well, there you go. You know?
What?
That's all they're doing is they're selling you games, you know? And I'd rather, and to be honest, I'd rather like have Phil sitting over there like smiling and like, hey, don't you like this game? And blah, 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 blah. You know, actually trying to like, you know, shake it, you know, and sell it, you know, then, you know, Cerny that's like, oh, hey, everybody, check this out. It's like,
oh, you know.
Bruh. What?
Okay, that's kind of a left field kind of an analogy, but that's all they are.
You know they're faking the funk either way, so.
Exactly, but enough to know that if you're gonna fake the funk, at least I want like the faker to at least kinda
be good at faking it, faking the funk.
Smile, like be like, hey, that's again, like I want more charisma, and I just think that Keeley does not have charisma, and we talk about this every year.
So we going into the Game Awards. That's what we're doing now.
Some people are. I tell you, 100%. Some people are. And it's just silly. The Game Awards in and itself is silly because you hit the nail right on the head. Number one, if there was not any new game trailers or anything like that, no one would tune in. And half the time that's really sad because I do believe that there should be some recognition for high selling games that are innovative, games that sell a lot, games that do different things. It's just unfortunately, that's just not something that's celebrated. And because it's not like the Oscars, because people don't watch the Oscars for the commercials, but it's the exact opposite with the Game Awards. So, but that's what you got to do. Snoop Dogg was great though.
Yeah, but before, in years prior, when someone would get up there and you'd have somebody performing a song that wasn't even part of a game soundtrack, or some actor who wasn't even part of any game project, he's just there, I think there might have been a little bit of that this year, but before it was just chock full of that. And again, in my mind, that's okay because I'm only here for the game announcements. Yeah. And I'm cool with just starting this 2 hours after it kicks off, so I can just fast forward to the next game announcement that I want to see. I think this year it was maybe the pacing was a little bit, I'm not going to say better, it was just different. That I didn't care that I couldn't fast forward through certain things, if that makes any sense.
Also, you're watching
at the end of the day. Too. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm here for the game announcements. Mm-hmm. And I felt that there was a good enough cadence of those game announcements coming in between the commercials, coming in between the awards, that I didn't feel that my time was wasted. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with you that the pacing was a lot better than other shows. I will definitely give you that 100%. 100% the pacing was better. And I just think they just realized that, hey, we got to kind of get in here and get out. So yeah, that was a very good conversation. Joe, do you have anything to add before we end? We end our 2024 retrospective on the Video Game Awards.
That's it.
Nothing else to add?
I enjoyed watching it this year. I know I watched it the entire way. I know you guys were going to work and coming home, and I was watching from 4:30 on to 8 o'clock, so it was kind of long. I watched the pre-show too with Sydney Goodman, so she did an okay job. I felt almost in a way it's kind of dumb that they gave some of the awards that they gave on the pre-show, like they brought the people up to accept the awards on a little side stage, and it's a point that during the actual show itself, a lot of these categories were speeded through, where no one was coming up and no recognition was given, just because your particular category wasn't the darling or the big bala shot kala. They should have, given a little bit more stage time to the other categories as well, in my opinion. So
I agree.
Maybe less schmoozy stuff, but. Like I said, if you want to watch a more of an industry-based award show, watch that. Or, there's plenty of other people commenting their games of the year, their favorite games of the year through the press, through other means, So there's definitely always good ways for gamers to look for a retrospective of the year and other places as well. So
Mm. Well, all right, everybody. Please, if you have any comments or questions for us, please let us know. And we would love to hear your thoughts about it. Do you like your sex workers pretty like Phil or what? Let us know, and we'll talk about it. But the question
Good
that we wanted to
Lord.
pose for you, because we're getting towards the end of the year, and you know what that means. We're looking at games of the year, and if you're new to this, if you're new to us and coming in, we don't do just one game of the year. We do three. Your top three games of the year. You can list them as 3, 2, 1, or no particular order, but we want to highlight games that you believed you really liked. And the caveat is they don't have to have been released this year or 2024. They could be a game that was released in 2023 or a game that was released in 1980, whatever. It's a game that really stuck to you and you really really enjoyed. We want to know your top three games. So you can put them on the Discord. You can put them on the comment section in YouTube. You can, if you put them on a Discord, we can talk about them. We are going to give our top three games on our next episode. So please, 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 we want to hear what games you've been playing because, hey, maybe we might pick up the game and try it. Who knows? So definitely take the time. We want to hear from you. Let us know. And if you want to know how to join the Discord, stay tuned to the end. And Kev will let you know how to do that. But what follows me? It's the Jabroni Game and News.
All right, thanks, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, awesome possum. So since we're already talking about the Game Awards, guess what? We're going to talk about who won those Game Awards. So, and some of the presenters comment. We didn't really comment during the main event, but Harrison Ford was either drunk or old or both. Who knows?
Both, probably.
Yeah, but see what happens on that. But there was quite a bit of games up for some nominations. So, and basically it was a surprise, maybe for some people, but the game of the year went to Astrobot on there. So, best game direction was Astrobot as well. Best narrative went to Metaphor ReFantazio. Best art direction, Metaphor ReFantazio as well. Best score and music was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Audio design was Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. And performance was also Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. And some other titles. Best ongoing game was Helldivers 2. Best community support Baldur's Gate 3. Best independent game, Balatro. Best debut indie game, Balatro. Best mobile game, Balatro. So a lot of Balatro up in that business. So best action game was Black Myth Wukong. Best action adventure game was Astrobot. Best RPG, Metaphor ReFantazio. Best fighting game was Tekken 8. Best family game was Astrobot. So do you guys feel that there was any games slighted with any of the categories?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think Dragon Age Veilguard was slighted. I don't, not at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't think any game was slighted. I do think, like I said earlier, there should have been multiple different categories for different things to shine a light on other games. But no, I think everything kind of fell where most people thought they were going to fall. To be completely honest with you.
How about you, Kev? Any surprises or feel there was any slights given in any of the award winners for the show?
I don't think there's any slights. I would say maybe I differed in opinion. I don't think Black Myth Wukong deserved best action game.
Oh, really?
I think Stellar Blade should have gotten it, and the reason why Stellar Blade should have gotten it was because Black Myth does not run very well on console.
Oh.
It has some problems. the way that they utilized what they call that frame gen. They basically take a 30 frame per second game and insert frames using frame gen and make it simulate a 60, but that throws your inputs way off. And that was a big part of my problem when I first tried Black Myth, and I haven't gone back to it because is it unplayable? Is it like Bayonetta 3? No, it's not unplayable. It's definitely playable, and it's definitely something that you can get yourself used to. But I don't think I should have to. I shouldn't the frame. I shouldn't have to get used to uh, input lag. Just on its face, I shouldn't have to. That was not present at all with Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade ran flawlessly on console. So, in my opinion, just on that alone, I think all things being equal, and again, I'm not saying Black Myth Wukong is a bad game. I haven't finished it. I haven't played very much of it because I'm waiting for the patches to go through. I think he got a pro patch of some sort recently. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it supports PSSR. It's going to support 120 hertz output. In balance mode, it's going to have a stable 40 frames per second output. And they've optimized a few things on there. So, and they actually, the input response speed has been improved in performance mode. So,
yeah, it really, in reality, it should run at 60. They should drop the resolution and make it a true performance mode, because I feel a game like that needs to be running at 60. But, some improvement is better than none. And we have to be honest, too, that this game pushed high-end PCs to the limit as well. And again, it had the frame gen going on the PC side of the fence that threw input lag all the way off as well. So I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think it's a great game. It has one of the best opening sequences of an action game I've ever seen. But I honestly think Stellar Blade was a better package overall. So that would be the one thing that I would disagree with that I saw.
Well, Black Myth Wukong's director Feng Ji from Game Science had a word or two to state about the Game Awards. So he posted on a Chinese social media site, Weibo, on here, which was machine translated, but he stated that in the end, it won the best action in player's voice, especially the player's voice, which was gratifying. But I must admit that there are disappointments and regrets. The games nominated this year are all excellent, but I really don't understand the selection criteria for this year's Game of the Year. I came here for nothing.
Oh, damn.
From yesterday to now, I've also seen very strong dissatisfaction, unwillingness, and unhappiness in the comments of many players, most of them expressed in humorous and deconstructive ways, which is hilarious. And there was another game developer, which I don't know if you're familiar with, Alana Pierce. She was a former streamer, and she's working for Sony Santa Monica. But she was on Twitch talking about the Game Awards. She says she sat right in front because she was with the Sony contingent for this year, and she stated that she looked over at the Game Science developers after they announced Astrobot as the Game of the Year, and they said that one guy in particular in the Game Science group was actually crying, and he was crying, not crying happy for Astrobot, crying like in distraught, meaning that he was upset that they did not win Game of the Year. So,
oh man, oh gosh,
kind of crazy, but that a lot of people, they kind of they consider if they win an award like a great thing, but they were thinking that they made the Game of the Year, and they were disappointed that they did not win. They were emotional about it because I think they wanted to win. So.
I'd want to win too. Shit, fly all the way from Japan. I'd be like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. I'm going to say something that's going to be, surprise, surprise, controversial. Honestly, I think because Black Myth Wukong got inserted into this gaming cultural woke, anti-woke DEI zeitgeist that's going on in the gaming community right now. I think maybe the person who was crying maybe got a little too gassed up and was thinking that we have this in the bag because we are for no, and I'm not blaming any of this on game science. All they set out to do was make the best game possible that they could. But this game has been injected into this gaming culture thing that's going on, and again, like I've said before, I think both sides have very valid points, absolutely. But I think maybe at the end of the day, folks just really rocked and vibed with this cute little robot running around, knocking things out and collecting his friends and hopping on a controller and using a controller as a spaceship. I mean, are we going to sit here and say that they didn't take that the general construction of that game from Super Mario Galaxy? Yes, obviously they did. But Astrobot's a great freaking game. It is. I mean, and when people are, if he's up there crying because they didn't win, it's like a lot of people are up for all kinds of awards and they don't win, but at the same time, they're just glad to have been part of the conversation. How many games in total launched in this year?
Quite a bit.
And how many of those games were not even mentioned in the Game of the Year discussion?
A lot.
Also, a lot.
Yeah.
So I think maybe this guy in particular, and I'm not attributing this to the company itself, or maybe now who the guy that made that translated comment from Weibo, was he the CEO of Game Science or somebody high up?
No, he was the director. So
the game's director.
Games director, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, kind of at least high up in the project. Yeah.
And one thing they mentioned too that he claimed, basically, he said that he wrote his acceptance speech for the Game Awards 2 years ago for Game of the Year. So.
Oh.
Okay, so we're getting high off our own supply. So maybe it has nothing to do. Maybe this has nothing to do with the gaming culture zeitgeist. It's just somebody's hubris. Okay, I got you. Okay,
yeah.
I stand corrected.
He reportedly claims that he even wrote his acceptance speech for
Okay, I stand corrected. Okay, so it's not about any of that. It's just dude's got an ego. I got you. Okay, well, hey, what can you say?
He's basically he's proud of his game, so.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with being proud of your game, but I ain't writing my acceptance speech 2 years ahead of the fact. Yeah. I'm actually going to be focused on making sure that this game is the best product that I can put out, and maybe if he was spent some of that time he spent writing his acceptance speech, maybe use that time to better implement frame gen in a way that it didn't mess up the input lag on Black Myth Wukong, then maybe that would have been time better spent. I'm just saying.
Damn, Kev. Sheesh.
I think he was kind of sarcastic a little bit in his. I'm looking at his comment right now, translated on Reddit, and he basically wanted to just kind of lay it all out on this post because of the fact that he wasn't able to say them on stage. He said, "Ha ha." So he's actually being a little sarcastic, but yeah, they said that. Yeah,
he said that with his whole chest. No,
yeah,
I'm not buying that. No, he wasn't being sarcastic. He wasn't being funny. Nah, he said that. He said that with his whole entire chest. No.
Yeah, at the end of the statement, this is translated. It says, "Finally, I hope the story of Black Myth can give some courage of those still lost and wandering in the dark, and allow them to see a glimmer of light so they can move forward with a calm heart. I hope everyone continues to carry competence and ambition, stays brave, honest, and kind, works diligently on every small task, and calmly accepts uncertain results, continuing on the journey until the very end of life. As Hemingway said, the world is a fine place and worth fighting for." So this is so heartfelt. Yes.
Yeah, bro. You huffing your own farts, man. I'm sorry.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Damn, Kev. He was just happy. He was just out here trying to live his best life. He's come to America, probably the first time coming to America. Got to meet Keeley. Super happy. That game has been like in development for forever. Oh, poor guy. Poor guy.
Yep,
Okay.
that's well, let's go on and we'll move on to talk about everything that was announced at the Game Awards. So the pre-show kind of led off, and I'm not going to cover everything, but the things that I think is worthy of discussion.
Okay.
The games that we like here. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound was shown at the kickoff on the show. So this is a new Ninja Gaiden being published by Emu, which is the publishers behind Streets of Rage 4, but this is actually being developed by the studio Game Kitchen, which was behind Blasphemous and Blasphemous 2. So they're working on a 2D pixel art Ninja Gaiden on there, which will be out in summer of 2025. And for me, I always enjoyed playing the NES Ninja Gaiden games, so sign me up for this. I'm really curious to see what they have to bring to the table. I mean, it's not the Ninja Gaiden that you wanted to see, Kev. Not the Itagaki Stone Cold original Xbox classic, if need be. But this is kind of the time I played Ninja Gaiden a lot was on the NES, and so I'm thinking for a modern reboot of this, I think it has some soul, and they have a good team in the Game Kitchen behind it on there. So I can't wait for this to come out. What's your overall take on it, Kev?
As long as I don't have to do the Metroidvania stuff, I'm definitely interested. I'm not going to say I'm not interested in it. Would I prefer this to be a 3D, like in the same vein of Itagaki's work? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't mind. I also played the Ninja Gaiden NES games as well. I know I finished the first one. I don't know if I finished the other two. I know I had them, but yeah, I just don't want to be going back, having to backtrack to levels I've already been to just because I got a new ability. As long as they don't make me do that, or at least not a whole lot of it, I'm good. But if I got to go back to some room that I saw 46 screens ago so I can make my way just through the main game, nah, I'm good.
All right. Des, did you get a chance to see the Ninja Gaiden trailer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
good. I mean, I'll buy it.
Right on. All right, next thing, make a mention, they had a new gameplay trailer for Slay the Spire 2. So they had a world premiere trailer on there, but they showed at least hints of 4 character types and lots of nifty looking battles on here. It's still coming to early access in 2025. Did you get a chance to see the Slay the Spire trailer, Des?
Yeah. It looks good.
Good deal.
Looks good. I mean, I know people, and it's just like the OG. I guess the OG like deck builder kind of like combat game. So it was only a matter of time before we were going to get it, and I'm glad that it's coming. Hopefully they'll re-innovate, do something new. But either way, it's a fun game.
Maybe I have to check out the first one. I usually tend not to play card games, but
That's what I mean. People don't like card games, so.
Is it like beginner friendly if need be?
Oh yeah, it's not hard. It's like a deck builder roguelike. It's like the one that started the genre. It's very easy.
Right on. I'm gonna have to check it out. I know it's on my PlayStation Plus queue because it was a game of the month as an essential game on there. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, especially if you have it for free. Oh, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing, the next thing I'm gonna mention, and the one thing I just thought was just like, oh my god, what the hell is this crap? But Bandai Namco basically busted out with a game called Shadow Labyrinth. And Shadow Labyrinth is your usual dark fantasy Metroidvania, but you are basically your little ninja type character is using Pac-Man as his like kind of creature to attack in this particular level. So that's like someone took Pac-Man and made him a like weapon.
There you go.
On there, and I see the fact that this game might be interesting, but it is a Metroidvania and it's grimdark at that. It's like a dark fantasy Metroidvania at that. I don't get the fact they're using Pac-Man as, they're riffing off the fact that you're basically using Pac-Man as this like, like big globulous like blood, Pac-Man like drinking blood and being all like, evil and stuff. It's like, I don't get the deal with it. So I don't get the deal. So
it's not for you, Joe.
I know. I guess the Pac-Man episode of Secret Level, the Amazon TV anthology series, they actually have an episode dedicated to why Pac-Man is this way and whatnot. So
it's not Pac-Man, it's Puck.
Puck. Okay. Well, I don't give a puck either. So.
Wow. All right, Boomer. Jeez Louise.
I know, but I was watching this trailer. It's like, okay.
I ain't feeling it.
It's like watching Shadow the Hedgehog come out with guns or something. It's like,
Jeez.
I don't need to see Pac-Man floating around and like, the game looks actually, I mean, once it bombs.
Don't try to soft shoot it now, sir. You don't like it. Hush.
Once the game bombs, I just don't like,
Once the game bombs, you just.
Jeez. I'll have to see. I'll have to check out some reviews over here. So.
Yeah, you do that, Joe. You check out some reviews. Jeez.
Any thoughts on, you guys see this trailer or have any thoughts on it other than like, oh, here's another Pac-Man inspired game that's going to bomb?
The Pac-Man's going to start killing people.
I'm intrigued by it. The only thing that makes me apprehensive is the fact that it's a Metroidvania. But I'm intrigued by the idea, the premise. I think it's showing some originality and bringing back an old IP, or remixing an old IP rather. It's not like Pac-Man has ever really gone away, but remixing a very old IP in a new way. I think the concept, the idea here is interesting. It's interesting enough to make me want to find out more about the game. Because it's a Metroidvania, I probably will not play it, but it might be one of those games that I watch other people play a lot of.
All right, good times. All right, so next trailer of note, The Witcher 4 got its big reveal. So CD Projekt Red basically showed a cinematic. And you got to watch a grown-up Ciri basically take on a demon on here while she was in going through a town, and they were making a sacrifice to a quote-unquote god on there. But no release date, no gameplay, just CG. I thought it looked cool. I mean, we'll have to see once the game does come out, but to me it's just nothing really about nothing. It's just in the CG trailer, kind of, it's like, okay, well, Witcher 4 does exist, yay. Yeah, that's how I feel about it, I guess. So, Des, any thoughts about the trailer for Witcher 4?
Nah, I never really played any of the other ones, so
Yeah,
I mean, good luck with it.
I might try Witcher 3 just to give it a dabble and see what the hubbub is about it. So,
Well, it's the beginning of a new trilogy, so about her. So I'm assuming Geralt will show up at some old ass Geralt will show up at some point. But I
he's in the
mean,
trailer actually, so
no, but you know what I mean. Like he'll show up and like help
yeah.
out and like be a part of it. But it's about her now and her as an adult. So or older. So we'll see what happens. Or maybe he'll be a mentor for her or something. But I don't know. I mean, I this might be a great place to jump on for people who are new to the series. So
Yeah. You care about the Witcher games at all, Kev?
Not really. I tried playing Witcher 3. I did not like the combat, so I put it down. I think it's got a very rich story. There's a rich story behind it. I can't remember the name of the author who wrote the books, but
He's
I
Polish,
understand.
so
Yeah, I
even if
understand.
you remember it's like
Yeah, I understand. From what I understand, it's based off of Polish
books.
myth and folklore.
Mm.
So I think that's pretty cool. But if the combat is like 3, which I really couldn't get into, I couldn't get into the fact that your weapons wore out, that you had to constantly put potions on them and do all this other stuff. That to me, that takes me out of the combat, and that's where my head's at in the combat of a game. So for those particular reasons, I kind of tapped out of Witcher 3. But for those who really dig that type of in-depthness in their RPGs, people say it's one of the best games ever made. Unfortunately, the new series has become the new focus of the gaming culture zeitgeist now. So the one side of it, I understand, and if that is indeed the case, I actually agree with. And then on another side, I look and I said, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. Like one group is saying, well, she can't be a Witcher because I guess what they call that, the trials of the grass, like 99.9% of the people that go through it die. All the women who have tried it have died, and only us like what they say, some ridiculous amount of the men that go through the trials of the grass get killed that trial to become a Witcher. So I guess that's why they kidnap kids and force them to do it or something like that. Again, I didn't read the books. I didn't play the games. I'm just kind of hearing what other people are discussing with regards to the lore. If that's the case and Ciri is now a Witcher, I can definitely see how that's lore breaking, and that's not good. But for the side that is saying that Ciri is ugly, I don't see. I see in the difference when they put the faces side by side from her Witcher 3 appearance to this one is that she's aged. And if she's out here fighting these monsters, I'm not expecting her to live in Vidal Sassoon. I'm just not. I'm expecting her to be a little bit grizzled, have some scars on her face, have be a little bit rough around the edges. I think she still looks feminine in comparison to her appearance in Witcher 3. I'm not really seeing the hubbub with regards to her looks. She still looks like Ciri, just older and a little bit more beat up, which is what I would expect from somebody undergoing or doing this for a living. So I remember the day when people, you kind of like you were either excited for a new game announcement or a new game coming, or you would look at it and say, it's just not my bag, and just kind of move on. And new games were not just automatically injected into the current day bullshit that's going on today. I remember a time, Pepperidge Farm remembers. I kind of wish we could go back to that.
I think part of the equation is having to go and read what people think. Because guess what? If you don't care what people think, it doesn't really matter. It's like I haven't been really caught up in this whole sweet baby business because I don't really give a flying fuck. Excuse my French. So.
Well, it's not. Again, this stuff comes to me.
Yeah.
And it came to me because I watched a lot of stuff about Forspoken, and not even really having looked at it from the standpoint of the whole, the whole woke, anti-woke stuff, just the game itself. And now everything that comes to me on my socials is based on that. And I'll admit, sometimes I go down a rabbit hole. I am a rabbit hole going downer person on a lot of different stuff. And this is one of the things that I freely admit I go down a rabbit hole on. But sometimes it's just it's kind of like watching two praying mantises fight. It's interesting, but in the end, you don't really care who wins because you're just kind of there. You're just kind of there for the carnage.
Yeah, it's like watching Springer and watching people fight, basically. So
yeah. What is this? I'm just here for the effery. Yeah, it's a lot of that. It is that way too. But sometimes it does kind of put a little bit of a damper on new game announcements when this type of stuff gets kind of pushed to the forefront when the forefront really should be occupied by the game and discussions about the new game. In the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me. I'm either going to buy the game or I'm not, based off my own decision. But I'm more so saying that from the standpoint of the people actually making the game, because I think every developer goes in just wanting to make a great game, and
I agree.
Sometimes deservedly, but sometimes non-deservedly, their games in current day 2024 going into 2025 are getting thrown into this social milieu, if you will. So malaise. So I don't know.
All right, next game that was shown as of note was Elden Ring Night Reign. So surprise, surprise, even though From has said that they weren't going back and we're working on Elden Ring 2, well, guess what? They are working on a standalone multiplayer Elden Ring on here. So it's a 3-player.
Not Elden Ring 2.
Nope, it's not. So don't call it a sequel.
But don't call it a sequel. It's been there for years.
You know it, yeah. So described as a standalone game by Jeff Keighley in this preamble before the trailer. It is a co-op action survival game, and basically some of the characters in the trailer were actually doing some air combat, so there's a little bit different twist to this particular Elden Ring co-op game. And so, we'll have to see, especially co-op, it kind of would get me interested a little bit. I don't know about you, Des.
Co-op will always get me a little interested into it. Like this is kind of how I am. Yeah. And I enjoy co-op type games. So, and I just want to know if it's still going to be that kind of crazy, super aggressive, Dark Souls type of combat.
Yeah.
I want to see how forgiving the combat is and how they're going to implement the multiplayer. That's what I'm more interested in. Because if it's just, straight up crazy, then I'm be like, whatever, I don't need to do all that. But,
I was thinking about this and maybe it's a multiplayer hunting game that kind of brings back the spirit of Monster Hunter 1 and 2, the very sheer like difficulty, and hopefully it's still fun to play, but at the same time, Monster Hunter has evolved to be to where it's very user friendly, at least at the beginning on there, where I kind of almost in a way long for like the Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, the PSP Monster Hunters before Capcom got everything kind of streamlined a little bit, So to me, I especially with something where it was very rewarding when you kind of fought a monster and you finally figured out its patterns and you finally figure out where its weak spots are and so on and so forth. Because that's why to this day we talk even about Kezu, the old Kezu, not the new Kezu, which is basically just like some sort of I wouldn't equate him to a Kutku or anything like that, but
No, I get what you're saying, and
Yeah.
and I understand that, but there's a difference because like some of these Souls-like games, like they are just brutal, and I think that they are different than Monster Hunter. I don't know. It's maybe it's just how I perceive it,
Yeah.
but some of these Monster Hunter like games are just a lot different than the whatchamacallit, than the Dark Souls type games.
Souls likes, yeah.
Yeah, Souls likes. Those games are just like crazy.
Any thoughts on this, Kev? I don't know as far as if you did dive back into Elden Ring at all, or if you want to play this in a multiplayer setting.
I haven't. I have Elden Ring, but I have not played it at all. This, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, because I have a feeling that what was the release date on this one again, or did they post one?
2025. There is a beta coming out next month. There's going to be open signups for the beta. The beta is going to be out in February, I believe.
Yeah,
So.
I have a feeling I'll be playing another Monster Hunter-like game in February. In fact, I think it's called Monster Hunter. So
there you go.
I'm gonna be focused more so on that than maybe worrying about this. So I'm not saying that this game is bad or doesn't need to exist. It's just, are you gonna go with the the imitator, or are you gonna go with the originator?
I'm gonna have to go with the originator. Sorry. No sorries.
And I don't say that. I do not say that with any with shade, but
no disparaging remarks.
No disparaging remarks. No, but
I say it with my chest.
I'm gonna be rolling with the originator.
Yes, I'm gonna say that with my chest. I do not care. I'll be playing originator.
So next game of note is basically it's an Untitled game. It's been announced. It's from a development team called Gen Design World on here, and Gen Design basically it's called Gen Design, not Gen Design World, excuse me, but it's from Fumito Ueda. It's just the maker of Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. So if you didn't know, he did leave Sony. He's being bankrolled by Epic of all companies.
Good for them.
Yep, he is working on this particular game. They showed a trailer, even though they didn't have an official name. There was on the credits screen Project Robot that was noted on here. It looked very reminiscent of Shadow of the Colossus, except for the Colossi as a big giant robot on there. So we'll have to see what comes about this particular project. I thought the trailer looked nice, but if I'm gonna throw shade on Witcher, I'm gonna throw shade on this. Until I see gameplay, I don't really know on this. And you know how long The Last Guardian took to cook? It took a long ass time. So we'll have to see. Especially because he's on his own. He's not with Sony. They're not enabling him or anything like that. So we'll see. Well, any excitement either of you two from this thing? Or do you like Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, Last Guardian?
I mean, the way he made it sound like he probably won't be out for years.
It probably won't be out for years. He's been working on this for a long ass time too.
So
I'm
mean,
kind
hey,
of. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just like, cool. I mean, yay, good on you.
I'm interested in it. I don't really mind an introduction of a game being done solely with CGI, but subsequent trailers, I want to see gameplay.
Yeah.
The first one, if it's all CGI, I don't got a problem with it. But when you start showing me trailers 2 through 30 before the game releases, and all I still got is CGI, then we got a problem.
Wrong. Yeah, something's wrong.
We got a problem. But the first trailer, I don't have a problem with CGI only, not at all.
Right on. Yeah, one of the trailers I really hate is when they do the teaser trailer and it's like 30 seconds of CGI and then a logo and then you never hear about the game again
for like a couple of years.
Yeah, like that game Contraband from Xbox specifically. So,
sure.
Yeah, it's Contraband because it's been hidden all this time, but who knows? Well, speaking of Xbox, yeah, they showed the Outer Worlds 2. It got a new trailer and a 2025 release window. So Obsidian is cooking. So, they're getting ready to release the Avowed, which, in of itself, by itself, we've already talked on previous episodes, was already ready to go, but they decided to go and move the release date over to February to kind of give it a little bit more time. Put the dollop of cream on there, parsley on the side. So, but the trailer for Outer Worlds 2, it boasts, quote unquote, more action, more weapons, and more graphics on here. But it did have that old Xbox logo at the beginning. It's coming to 2025 to Xbox Series X and S, Game Pass, PC, and PlayStation 5. So it's coming out PlayStation 5 day and date on here. So there was no word yet if the PS5 release will be delayed like Indiana Jones, but I think it was confirmed afterwards. It's going to be day and date for Outer Worlds 2 on other platforms. So, which is a good thing because Outer Worlds did come out for PlayStation. It came out for PlayStation 4, and they released the director's cut or the up-res version for PS5. So they do have precedent to release this game day of. But it was the only game from Xbox shown on the show itself. So. There was rumors that I guess Jeff Grubb from Giant Bomb stated that they had another game that they were planning on showing, but they showed Outer Worlds 2 instead, saying that the game that they were going to show was pushed back from the 2025 release date. So, what do you think of the Outer Worlds 2 trailer, Des? Because I know you played the first game a little bit, right?
Looks fun.
I'm there for it. I still have Game Pass. I still have an Xbox, so Yeah, anything for me to turn that system on, by all means. I was intending on turning it on to download Indiana Jones. We'll see. So, But I know you're a big fan of Obsidian, but you were commenting the fact that since it's coming day and date on PS5, you were thinking about your potato, right?
Get rid of it. Getting rid of it. No more potato for me.
No more potato.
Yeah.
All right.
No more potato.
No more potato. Straight ass been cooked.
Cook that potato.
Baked. All right.
Fried, baked, and mashed.
All right. Next game of note. Borderlands 2 got its first gameplay trailer. Guess what? It's more Borderlands. So it looked good from what I saw, but hey, guess what? It's not an evolution of anything from what I saw. I think there was a grappling hook at some point. So, but, you got Randy Pitchford on stage. He's not leaving his thumb drive at the, even leaving that thumb drive out with all that porn on it or anything.
Thank gosh. That. But no more porno. No more porns.
Yeah, but pretty much the Borderlands 4 looked kind of safe. I kind of like the art style, the character designs of the 4 protagonists. But
it looked real safe. That's a really great word to say. That's a really good word. It looked safe, like hella safe, and it's not inherently bad that it looks like that. But at the same time, I was kind of like, ooh, they look hella generic, And if that's what you mean by safe, then definitely, yeah. Like they look hella generic.
It kind of reminded me of like, okay, here we go again. We're gonna make the same game again, and so on
And
and
that's
so
what
forth.
that
And
well, that's what it is, right?
yeah,
So
we'll have to see what the plot line is, who the protagonist, who they're fighting against. But our criticisms of Borderlands 3 and the fact that like Handsome Jack was like chef's kiss, pretty damn snarky, and the two streamer twins didn't really fit that bill for
well,
Borderlands 3. So
I'm more so wanting to see what it's going to be like. Like, are they still going to be like? I just want to know what the writing's going to be like because the third one was like super cringe, and so I'm kind of wondering. It's like, okay, how cringy are they going to be? Are they going to like not be cringy? Are they gonna like do something different? Or what? That's kind of what I'm at. For me personally. So we'll see, I guess.
yeah, more claptrap.
That's what we
I don't know
need.
if it'll wash out the
Jack
Borderlands
Black.
movie out of my mouth or not. So,
Uh, you
but
you you're the one that decided.
I
You're the one
enjoyed
that
those
decided to watch
games.
that.
I enjoyed these games. So I'm definitely. I mean, it's a 2025 title. I mean, it's going to have some hype. I'll probably see more gameplay and get an idea from there. But we'll have to see on there. But it looked very safe to me. But hey, it might be good comfort food too. You never know. So,
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Right.
any thoughts on Borderlands 4, Kev? Before we move on.
Not really. I just never could vibe with the Borderlands games.
Yeah, I understand that. So, next game of note is a game that's near and dear to my heart. It's a teaser trailer for the new Virtua Fighter. So that they basically said Virtua Fighter is back, and so RGG Studios is working on a new Virtua Fighter. So we got to see maybe like the daughter of Sarah Bryant, maybe Sarah Bryant themselves, and Akira, of course, looking like Ip Man in his fedora, busting out some brawling moves in his elbow, of course. So, I already kind of commented at the beginning of the show. I'm excited for all this Virtua Fighter business. So, just note that, people. If you ever have any questions about Virtua Fighter, just let me know. But I know you guys probably won't be playing with me, but it's all good. I love my Virtua Fighter. So, next game of note, RGG Studios also showed a new game called Project Century. So
That looked dope.
It looked dope as hell, yeah. And it's basically
I mean, Virtua Fighter looked dope too. Don't get me wrong. It looked absolutely amazing. But yeah, this Project Century is
if Virtua Fighter, the new Virtua Fighter, and whether they call it 6 or otherwise, will you take a look at it just in case if they decide to streamline it or do something different with it? They were talking, especially in the Virtua Fighter Direct that I watched the day after, talking about that they were looking to kind of bring that formula up to modern audiences and so on and so forth. So,
see, I'll say this. I believe that there are certain things that are for you and certain things that are not for you. When you start trying to make things and bring it into, because you're trying to grow your fan base, you have to walk that rope super tight, because you don't want to alienate the folks that brought you to the dance, because the people that love Virtua Fighter love that complexity. That's what they're there for. When you start trying to water things down because you want to bring more people in, you run the risk of making your game not what it used to be. And I don't want them to do that. I want them to keep Virtua Fighter. So players like you who are into that series don't feel like, dang, what happened to this? What happened to that? How come I got to do? Why has it been so watered down? I don't want them to water it down. I want them to keep it the same thing that drew you to Virtua Fighter. I want that to be maintained. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me, because I keep threatening to get into Tekken 8. I ain't put Tekken 8 in since I can't remember when. So whether or not that's going to happen, I can't say for sure. But I don't want them to make changes to a game to try and draw in a new player like me, because then it's not what the folks that fell in love with your series have come to expect anymore. So if they're talking about all that stuff, bringing things and make it for the modern folks, modern audience.
No, that's me paraphrasing. They just talking about just going back to take a look at what is Virtua Fighter and try to kind of basically whip up the bowl, the pan and the pot, and getting that certain spices in there and so on and so forth. So they definitely have all the people in place from AM2 to basically cook this thing up. I mean, they're really taking their time, because they said they've been kind of looking at it since like at least 2020, 2021. So
okay,
I'm gonna have to pick it up. Just maybe play it with you, Joe. You never know.
Yeah, I think it's if we're going to compare like sequels, and I think Sega is in a better place than maybe Gearbox with Borderlands.
Well,
but it's two different things really in of itself. You talk about a long-running series that hasn't even seen a sequel in quite a bit of time, and so they're now going back to it, just like Sega's going back to other games in their back catalog now to take a look at things, which we'll talk about, kind of similar to another company as well. But let's circle back to Project Century. So basically, RGG Studios has always been cooking great, but it's like a Yakuza game, but it's based in 1915 Japan, and it looks pretty damn dope. So I'm excited for it. So excited for it. So
just Doperino.
Doperino. Another game I'm excited for. Turok Origins got announced.
Finally going to get it on the PS5, the Super the Greatest. I see Kevin, he knew what was up. You see, Joe knew that a new Turok game was coming, so that's why he started playing it. See, see, that's why he started playing it. He knew.
I'm like a gaming Nostradamus over here.
Yeah, I don't think any of us had a new Turok on our game on our cards to pick.
Not at all. I sure as hell did. I was like, when he told me, oh yeah, it was a new Turok game, and I'm like, oh, you mean the game you're playing? And he's like, no, a new one. I'm like, you lying? And he's like, no, there's a new one coming up. I'm like, you need to get out of here.
Yeah, it's coming out from Saber, so we'll have to see. Saber's always a good company, so whether they got their underlings or their junior game developers on the project, or kind of go from there. But the
gameplay looked dope.
Yeah,
I really like that little gameplay snippet they did. I'm with that.
And looks like there's probably going to be some multiplayer. I can imagine some horde mode versus some dinos. I'm down with that business. So I'm training right now. I'm ready for one.
Oh, Lord, you're training. Uh-oh.
I'm training. I'm on wish list right now. TurokOrigins.com. You guys recognize. So, next game of note, Warframe 1999 got its final trailer and release date. So I know, Des, that you kind of looked at this and said, "Damn, this looks pretty dope."
Warframe's no joke. Warframe be out here like they're out here trying to make stuff happen, and I can't be mad at them. Like, I want to, like, their Soulframe game, like, I want to see where that falls in all this. And I don't know. It's like they're finally moving away from the actual, like, I don't want to say they're moving away from the Warframes, because they're not. That's what the game is about. But if you notice, they must really have paid a lot of money to get into being able to do faces and render faces now. You notice that?
Yeah.
Because it's like the ninja masks, there's no ninja masks anymore. People actually are looking like people. So are you going to be able to create your own character? Like, I don't know. Part of me's kind of like, maybe I should check out check it out, like fall back in and see what's going on with it, because I have no idea what's going on with that game anymore because of all the changes that have happened with it. Like if you want to talk about a game having multiple changes, it's like that's the game you want to talk about, because like that game's like completely different than what it was when it first started. Like it's crazy how different it is now.
Well, again, the Warframe 1999 came out yesterday, and it's available on all platforms. So maybe we'll have to talk about it next week.
Well, maybe.
They look like they were from Metal Gear Revengeance.
Right? Exactly. But that's the thing about that's the thing about those, the way those Warframes, like they don't look like they don't normally look like that. Like he looked like Raiden, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Looks pretty dope. So maybe we'll talk about it next week. I'm gonna give it a shot. So
now, do you have to have played Warframe in order to get the 1999 update, or are they two separate things?
It's free. You just get it.
Yeah, two separate things. So they even got on their website a 1999 comic. It looks pretty dope. So
wow, I never knew they were doing like comics and shit. Damn.
Yeah, I mean every year. I mean Warframe, they have their community event on there, and they have people come out. You know. Thing. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not super familiar with it, but it's it's a point that they've built up enough community over the years where they're getting paid. This game's for free, but with enough cosmetics and whatnot, so
a lot of goodwill.
Yeah, for TennoCon is their convention.
Yeah, TennoCon, that's what it calls. Well, I want to check out Soulframe, so that's the newest free game, and it's more of a a medieval type of game kind of situation. So
yeah,
but yeah.
All right. Well, Power got an update, but I'm not talking about that. We're going to talk about Onimusha: Way of the Sword is coming in 2026. So Capcom busted out of the blue with a new Onimusha coming out on here. They're going back to the well.
I'm talking about Power World. Yeah. We're talking about Power World. Come on now. Power World.
Power World, yeah. Well, what Pokemon have they ripped off this time? So, according to what's on the trailer, a big burly man fights and partners up with a big burly bear, lion type creature. Oh boy,
that's what it's about.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh wait, nope. If you play Power World, I'll play Power World with you. You're gonna spend $25 on Power World?
No, but
okay, then there you go.
I mean, it'll be free. It won't be free, but it'll be cheap for a minute there.
Got to pay for that defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Onimusha: Way of the Sword came out of the blue, and even though it's a CG trailer, I say give it to me now. It's coming out in 2026.
Are you sure that was a CG trailer? I think people were saying that was actual gameplay.
Was it actual gameplay?
I think that was CG. I didn't see any gameplay.
Yeah.
When they were fighting. No, you think so?
I don't think. I think that was CG.
Yeah, unless I see a HUD.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm all in for Onimusha. I love that series on the PS2. Some of the best games that were available on that console. So I will be there day one for Onimusha. That was probably my trailer of the show.
It did look pretty dope. Like, I can't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and speaking of Capcom 2, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, but they also broke out with some dudes on the taiko drums, and they revealed that they are working on an Okami sequel as well. So, and Kamiya, the guy that originally helped develop the first game, the part of Clover Studio, he went over to found Platinum, but he's done with Platinum, and he's back in business. Basically, he's founding a new studio called Clovers. So
he's looking all badass. I was like, go on.
Looking all badass with his sunglasses, yeah, like Kamiya usually does on there. But it is coming. So Capcom did interview the day after the Game Awards and said they're going to go back to the well with some of their previous IP and work on, going back to their back catalog of games to kind of create new versions of that. So, I hope Capcom, you got to look at Breath of Fire, son. You need to get some Breath of Fire business going back. And is there any other Capcom franchises? I mean, you think they could pull God Hand out of the
No.
If
God Hand,
I would trust Kamiya to do a God Hand.
Yeah.
I think he would be. I think he's someone that would be able to do it justice. The only thing that would prevent that game being what a sequel. I would be happy with just like a
HD
remake. Like a remake.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I don't want it just HDified. I want it brought into current day graphics, but with the same game. But that game was politically incorrect as all get out. And I don't know if I was surprised that they did Lollipop Chainsaw and brought that game back. I think God Hand is more politically incorrect than Lollipop ever was. That's just my opinion. I mean, I can't think of a game where you fight flamboyantly gay bodybuilders and transvestite Power Ranger impersonators. I can't think of a game where you do something even close to that. So if they can do something, if they can do a sequel or bring that game out and tell the anti-chuds to kick rocks and just make it the way it was intended to be made, the way the good Lord intended God Hand to be made, I will be there day one. But I honestly don't think that a game like that can exist without bringing so much social heat on the company responsible for it. They may feel it wouldn't be worth the effort, unfortunately.
Yeah. I know Clover did bring out God Hand, but it was a Mikami joint, so Mikami is now basically out of his particular. He was with God, I'm trying to remember the name of the company, but my mind's all over the place. It's the same company that brought out Hi-Fi Rush and Ghostwire Tokyo.
I can't remember the name either. It's fine. Keep going.
Yeah. Tango Gameworks. There you go. But so excited for that. We'll have to see what else Capcom brings out of the blue. First Berserker Kazan got a new trailer. It's coming out in March 2025. And every time I see this game, I have no idea what it is because it's all cinematics. It looks cool. It's a dark fantasy RPG, but I don't know. I'm still curious as far as how the game plays. So I don't know how you feel about it, Kev.
Did you take part in the play test?
No, I didn't take part in the play test. Did you give it a shot, or did you watch footage from it?
I didn't get a chance to because I was out of town for the time that it was up, or at least a good chunk of the time that it was up. I would suggest you look at the gameplay of the play test.
Oh, okay.
Because to me, I'm all in on this. I'm all in on First Berserker. It's my kind of game. It's kind of like I get a Sekiro vibe from it, and it looks like it's going to be one of those games that's not going to be easy. You're going to have to learn the tells, learn the patterns, and you will be punished when you get it wrong. I did see that from people that were streaming their playtest gameplay, and I'll be there day one.
I didn't really pay attention to the trailer too, but I guess the Russo brothers directed the trailer, so that's kind of crazy that they're involved. But that Chinese money. So, all right, and I think anything else to note? Let's see. Game of Thrones was shown, Sonic R, but I think at the very last portion, the last trailer that was shown was Naughty Dog's Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet on there. So looked cool to me. It looks like what would it look like, Des, to you as far as
it looks fun.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, it looks fun. I look forward to checking it out. I'm here for Naughty Dog. They do great work. I just wonder what it's going, like, what the story is, because it was just a CGI trailer, so I don't know what the story is about. I'm assuming she's a super greatest type of, runner.
She's a bounty hunter.
Yeah, bounty hunter, killing folks, doing bad stuff, So that's what I imagine, she's going to be doing, So I don't know.
Look pretty dope, though. So.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, let's go.
Let's go. Any thoughts on the kid?
Look good to me. It's some information that came out post is that this game is heavily influenced by anime, like oh gosh, what was the name
Akira,
of that?
No,
Akira, and it's that other one that was
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
That's what I was thinking too.
Cowboy, that ship looks like it was straight up ripped from Spike's. That Spike ship, straight up.
Yep.
Except
100%.
It's got Porsche. It's got Porsche written on it on the back. A lot of people were hating on the product placement. Personally, I think the product placement kind of adds a little bit of I don't know. I think it adds a little bit of I'm not going to say authenticity because we ain't in space yet, but it's like I would expect if this takes place so far out in the future, I would expect like Porsche to still be in business making whatever it is that we use to as common transportation. I would expect Sony to still be making whatever devices we use to listen to stuff. So a lot of people were hating on it and thought it was bad. I don't have a problem with it because I kind of dig stuff like that. It's like their impersonation of, Adidas is still in business, still making shoes. It's like I can accept that. I don't have an issue with that at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to see the combat. The combat does have me, what little they showed or what they're going to try and what they're saying the combat will represent in game. Kind of sort of has me kind of intrigued. I want to know if she's going to be using different weapons. I want to know if there's going to be, because that ship looks too good to not be able to use in a space battle. If that ship is just your hub, I will be very disappointed. I want to fly that thing and blast enemies out of orbit with it. That ship was really. It was Spike's ship, but Spike's ship was pretty cool in Cowboy Bebop. So, yeah, I was really into it.
All right, and that kind of concluded the trailer shown at the Game Awards. Now, there was some commercials in between that showed some different game announcements, and a couple of games I want to make a note of. Double Dragon Revive got its release date, so it's coming out in September of 2025 on here, and I think I made a comment when we were watching on the stream. It's coming out October 23rd, on there. So pre-order is available now. It's $34.99 standard, and you get a deluxe for $49.99 on here. This is being developed by Ukes. So, and from what I saw in the trailer, I don't know if this thing is quote unquote, being revived properly. It might be.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's like.
I don't think it is, man.
Yeah, it looks kind of.
I see Double Dragon Neo on that, which was terrible. I'm sorry. There's folks that think Double Dragon Neo is the greatest thing to happen to beat 'em up since sliced bread. I'm sorry. I could not disagree with those folks any more fervently. Double Dragon Neo is horrible. And I saw a lot of Neo in this, and I hope I'm wrong.
To me, the graphical style, the blocky, like kind of CG looking like dudes.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't like Neo, aside from its terrible fighting mechanics.
Yeah, it just looks bad. So.
Yeah. I hope they take that time to cook it.
We'll see. I don't know. Don't know, but
a whole year for a game like that is a lot of time.
Yeah, especially to say, "Oh, we got a release date trailer," and it's like, yeah, it's coming out in October. It's like, I remember when me and Des were at TGS and we walked by it, and it seems like everyone was like, "Oh, okay, what's this?" kind of thing, where there wasn't too much excitement, and Ukes, for every good game they develop, I mean, they're EDF Iron Rain developers too, so you have to keep that in consideration. So, and then Killing Floor 3 had a commercial during one of the commercial breaks. It wasn't, big enough to be featured in the show, but it was on the show because they paid to have a commercial. Paid to play, But Killing Floor 3, I think that might be some good co-op action. We'll have to see. And remember playing Killing Floor 2 a little bit, and I thought that game was fun. So I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm kind of we'll check it out and kind of take it from there. Is this something you guys are interested in playing day one, or just seeing how it goes and kind of go from there?
Just seeing how it goes. I wanted to be into Killing Floor, but I just never could get into it.
Too over the top, you think?
Just the parkour and stuff is just like, it's like kind of like Dying Light.
Yeah.
There was parkour in Killing Floor?
Yep. If I remember correctly.
I must not have gotten that far, because I just remember being in rooms and shooting monsters until the little canister opened up and I could recharge some health and purchase some new weapons. I played Killing Floor 2. And I thought it was okay, but I only ran solo. I never could get into, because I'm not going to run with randos, and I didn't know anybody, or nobody that was on my friends list either had the game or was playing at the same time I was available. So Killing Floor 3, I'd be good with it, but I would need to play with folks that I know. Yeah. And it's funny. It's fun enough solo, but it's not really a game that I will consistently go to playing solo. It's not like Helldivers. Helldivers, I could play that game forever and a day solo. Is it more fun with other people? Yeah. But I think it's just as fun, almost just as fun, just running these missions alone. So I don't think this game will have that pull for me.
Yeah, I'm interested, but we'll keep an eye on it. It's coming out in March, so. But that is Jabroni Gaming News for this future game rewards packed episode. Chunky today, but
yeah.
Thank you for bearing with me, folks. And my two fellow hosts.
You're good.
Yep, not a problem. So, game nights. Well, thank you for bringing that news to us, Jabroni Chiefs, of course. But game nights take place every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. That is the date and time we set aside to play games with our growing Discord community. So, if there is a game that you would like to play either with us or with members of our community, please post it in our game night section in the Discord. So you might be asking yourself, how do I join the Discord? Well, that's easy too. All you do is head on over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X, or Blue Sky, and you head over to @GamingVessels, GamingVessels. You tap the link in the bio and you're in. We don't have any merch to hawk to you, and we do not have a Patreon tier list for you to pay for. All we just ask is that you be a cool person, likes talking about games. And if you meet that criteria, I think you will find yourself a great home aboard the good ship Gaming Vessel. So with that said, that is going to bring episode 267 to a close. I want to thank y'all for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out, without a doubt, with us. For Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Hater.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Stepdaddy, and for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I am Shonuff71, aka Digger Dulamite.
Bling bling, y'all. Never forget, yo.
And we'll be back next time, episode 268 for your ears. Peace.